expanding upon the discussion of the code changes that are impacting critical systems, how important is it that these systems are set up so that we know that they're ready to perform when called upon, Chad?
Yeah, that's a great point. In 700.3, so we're in emergency systems, we have a new requirement for commissioning. And I think it speaks volumes to the complexity of modern power systems. But in this new requirement, the AHJ must conduct or witness the commissioning of the power system, the emergency power system, and approve any type of periodic rescheduling of testing. So I think it's an important step forward. And Doug, maybe you want to speak to how commissioning differs from just normal tests that might be performed on an emergency system.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned system. So when previously to the code and previous revisions, it would only require testing on specific components for their operation and didn't look at the entire system testing. So I think commissioning is really going to go well beyond making sure individual components work. So it's going to go into the sequence of operations of the equipment. You're going to be assured that your entire emergency power system is operational versus the individual pieces. You want to see those operate as a system together. So it's going to look at your sequence of operations. It's going to look at breaker settings. And the commissioning agent is going to validate and verify the design intent is followed. And they're following the engineer of records contract documents, the owner's project requirements, and more importantly, they're getting the system that they were promised at design. The more holistic approach to evaluating the essential power system, I think it's going to be seen as an overall improvement to the process.
Yeah, it's interesting because now emergency systems are getting a lot more complex. We're seeing additional on-site generator options such as microgrids and energy storage, fuel cells. So the importance of complete commissioning is enhanced with this additional complexity and the control systems that are associated with these sources. Are there instances where the setting of overcurrent protection doesn't happen, and does this new code requirement address those instances?
I'm sure there's instances where breaker settings have not been checked or not been verified, but I think overall the change in this process and this code requirement is going to improve that, and I think going to be a lot less cases where that's going to be the case.
I think from a big picture standpoint, part of this change not only includes that documentation of commissioning, but also maintenance records, right? And so I think from a big picture, we're seeing how the NEC, NFPA 70 and 70B and 70E now all fit together. So we have 3 standards: workplace practices for electrical workers, we have a standard for electrical equipment maintenance, and we see how all these fit together. And part of that is making sure that your emergency system, these critical systems that need to be commissioned, are also reliable. And that goes with that first step, is that initial installation in compliance with the code and commissioning. So Judy, how can Schneider Electric help customers with this whole commissioning topic?
Sure, yes, Schneider Electric can definitely help with commissioning. We have service engineers who can assist with the initial commissioning, and then we also have software tools and equipment options that can support this effort by providing system and equipment health information, such as real-time data, temperature measurements, and couple these into analytics to determine specific maintenance schedules. So you're not just doing annual maintenance or periodic maintenance, you can actually do maintenance when the equipment needs to be maintained. So this system commissioning, along with the periodic system performance testing, can provide the best reliability for these systems.